Good afternoon, everybody. Splendid to see you. Welcome to Quarantine Choir. It's Tuesday, so it's classical day, and as you'll have seen from today's card, we're looking at something. Well, classical is a bit of a stretch when you consider classical music really only refers to that brief period from about 1750 to about 1810. So we are stretching the definition of classical. Today is a medieval piece, Veni Veni Immanuel, a beautiful song which is known these days as O Come, O Come, Emmanuel, a beautiful Christmas carol. But how is everybody today? And I see Anna, you were here, I think, first, setting out the chairs. Thank you very much indeed for that. Hello, Lisette and Lisa. Hello, Kit Kat. Kit Kat's beginning to hate computers and all this new tech. Well, I can feel your pain there, KK, but on the other hand, if it weren't for computers and all this new tech, we wouldn't have any of this. So I'm sure we all really appreciate you persevering, and well done. Don't blame you. Honestly, sometimes some of these computers, I want to just hurl them out the window from time to time. But yes, so how is Lisa? Lisa is really needs this break from work. Well, delighted to see you. And it's going to be some really nice singing today, some lovely pieces. Kit Kat saying we have brilliant sunshine now. It's gone cold and grey. Oh, it's very much November weather, as you say. Very grey here. The sun's barely shown itself at all today. You can really tell we're 3 weeks from the solstice, just over. So how is everybody else? Anna has no sunshine for us today. It's a red letter day indeed. It's a big day. Well, no, fair enough. Hello, Jill. Fantastic. It's Jill Chatfield. Hello, Jill Greenshaw Davis. Good evening to you. Hello, Cynthia. Is anybody doing any baking? Well, my wife Anna is making delicious, what smells like a beef goulash downstairs. So I'm going to have a big problem here today, ladies and gentlemen, trying to teach singing whilst having the most wonderful smell of cooking food coming into the room. And she's just finished caramelising the onions. So I'm going to have a sip of tea. So how is everybody else? There's Marion. Hello, Marion. Hello, Michael. Good afternoon, sir. Hello, Ruth. How are you, Ruth? I've missed a whole load of comments, so let's just scroll. Got lots and lots of lovely people. So there's Ruth. Hello, Judith. Hello, Albert. Good afternoon. Hello, Moira. Hello, Julie. You have done some minor festivization. Thank you very much. You put up a wreath. Cinnamon stars. Ooh, share the recipe. That sounds great. Cinnamon stars. That sounds lovely. Hello, Angela. Fantastic. Hello, Christine. Lovely to see everybody. Hello, Leslie. So Ruth managed to speak to the doctor this morning, an inhaler and different antibiotics, so fingers crossed. Brilliant. Absolutely. We're all, as always, Ruth, we're sending all our love and all our best wishes to you. Hope you're feeling much better soon. I've got a little treat for you folks. I promised you yesterday, 2,500 subscribers, I would share a photo. It will be worth it, I think. I was going through my little photo album. There was one that just leapt out, and you'll see why. You will see why. It's not a baby photo. I was 3 when today's photograph was taken, and you'll see exactly why I chose it. But anyway, that's for 2 o'clock. So it'll be worth hanging on till then at least. So who else is here? Hello, Judith and Patrick. Good afternoon to you folks. Lovely to see you. Judith says in Kalinchi it is grey but warm. Fabulous. So who else is here? Hello, Terry. Oh, do you know what I mean? It's the smell of the onions. So delicious. Good afternoon, Breda. Lovely to see you. Hello, Sandra and Carol and Lani. And who else is here? Fabulous. Okay. Well, look, everybody. It's splendid to see you all. Thank you for being here. I'm going to do my customary sound checks. I have already checked that things seem to be working. Okay, let's try our recordings. Let's have a bit of the Campion, bit of Never Weather Beaten Sail first.
Never weather beaten sail, nor willing bent to shore.
Okay, that's quite nice. How about it if this is the new one for today?
Veni, Veni, Immanuel, captive
Splendid. The sounds, ladies and gentlemen, of Patchway Cathedral again. And good King Wenceslas, just the piano accompaniment. Let's just check this is working. Oh, that's good, the stridents. Oh, that'll wake everybody up. Fabulous. Okay, so those are our pieces for today. A piece that we know, Never Weather Beaten Sail. A new piece in a new style. We haven't sung anything that's in this plain chant style, although actually technically it's not plain chant. Technically what we're dealing with here, everybody, is organum. We'll be talking about this in the deep dive that's going to follow at 2:30. And I know I said on Sunday we were going to talk about concertos, but then when putting today's session together, I thought, well, it really doesn't make sense to do a song that's from the medieval era, that it uses these particular shapes and all of these what's called neumes, which we'll be talking about in the deep dive, and not explain what they are, where they come from. So concertos, we'll talk about those another time. I mean, I can always talk about a concerto till the cows come home, but we'll talk today, we'll introduce this idea of the very first notation in Western music and how it developed. We won't have time to look at some of the mid and late medieval stuff. We'll have to leave that to a future deep dive. But the early stuff, when we start with plain chant, and then what's called organum, and then looking at the Notre Dame school. So, I mean, I'm wearing the corduroy, everybody. It's that sort of a session. I'm going to try and make it as interesting as I can. I think it's fascinating. And I know there are many of you out there. I've had messages from people saying, oh, I'm really interested in medieval music. Dear Helen and Bill, hello, folks, in California. Helen wrote to me and said, oh, fantastic. I've always wanted to know what the diamonds and squares mean. So we're going to talk about that today. We're also going to talk a little bit about how those single lines developed into two voices singing at once, and then how those parts sort of started to move, and that's when you got the very first singing in harmony. And if it weren't for that, music would sound, well, very, very different today. So that's the deep dive at 2:30. All about medieval music. I've got some lovely recordings to play you, and we'll be looking at how these little shapes and twiddles affected music. So there we are. So how is everybody? Hello, Gwyn. Lovely to see you. Julia said you should make our own home choir cookbook. Oh, do you know, that's a brilliant idea. That's a really, really good idea. Next year, okay? And I'm going to say Kit Kat is, and I know she'd do an amazing job, but I think we should find somebody else who'd be happy to do the cookbook, because dear Kit Kat is working immensely hard. Thank you, KK, on behalf of all of us, for everything that you're doing for these calendars and all the Zoom meetings, and you're absolutely marvellous. And so as a little thank you, as you know, everybody, on Friday, well, we're going to sharpen our claws, everybody. I've had so many messages about the cat duet. I think more than pretty much any piece I've ever programmed on this channel. People are going, "Wow, I can't believe it." I've heard it. I've never sung it. Well, you do need to make sure you come along on Friday ready to have a really good sing, because it's not easy. It's got some tricky little semi-quaver moments. Meow, that sort of thing. But there is also written into the score where you have to hiss at each other and show your claws and so on. So it's going to be quite an emotional Friday fun sing, I think. All the good news is, by the way, anybody who's allergic to cats, these are non-allergenic cats. All right, they've been genetically manipulated, so you can take part in the cat duet. You can play the role of a cat, but you won't necessarily, hopefully, have an allergic reaction. I have to put the terms and conditions in there. Home choir makes no promises that you will not have an appalling allergic reaction to the cat duet. Thank you. We'll see. Albert's curious for the is it Neumann, as it's called in German? Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Fabulous. Oh, folks are asking what to wear for the self-isolation choir carol service. What does carol service attire mean for people in the UK? That's a really good question, Julie. It depends on the church, if I'm honest. There are some churches where you can turn up and sing in jeans and a Christmas jumper and they're happy. And others, if you turned up and you weren't more formally attired, you definitely get some looks. My advice is to anybody who's worrying about it, don't. I think as long as you don't dress up, I certainly won't be wearing the Santa hat for the actual service, let's put it that way. As long as you don't dress up as Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and record yourself singing Silent Night and kind of pulling silly faces into the camera, I think you'll be all right. Maybe a tinsely earring or two, something nice and festive. That would be my suggestion, all right? Just in case anybody's wondering. Oh, people are talking about cassocks and surplices. Leslie says, I wish I had a red cassock and ruff. That's a good idea. I suppose you've got home choir cassocks. We'll work on it. That's for 2022. Home choir ruffs. Okay, we're doing very well, folks. I've got all my recordings. Have you got your scores? I shared what I could in today's description, so just double checking that I've got everything. So, yep, you should have all three. Veni Veni Immanuel's. Fabulous. I'm just going to check I've got the right score. Always helps, doesn't it, folks? Oh, Dorothy really loves plainsong. That's fantastic. So do I. I've told you I was obsessed with Compline, which is this service that is sung at the end of the day. And when I was a teenager, I absolutely loved it. And on one particular occasion, as I've said on this channel many times, but for those who haven't heard the story, I was the last person standing at the end of a particularly tough week. It was around this time of year, actually, everybody. And everybody came along and they just decided they didn't want to stay and sing Compline. And I very much did. And so I sang it on my own, everybody, which was quite an experience. Very moving, very powerful, very spiritual experience. So everybody, a very good afternoon. We're going to get started in under a minute. So if you can make sure you have everything you need, make sure you've got your drinks handy, make sure your phone's off, that you've got the next hour or so blocked out if you're staying for the deep dive. Thank you ever so much for all of your wonderful comments. It is, of course, splendid to see all of you. Now, please do keep chatting in the comments. It's a huge part of what makes this choir very special. Thanks again to everybody who's recently subscribed. 2,504 subscribers as of the start of today's broadcast, which is just fantastic. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your comments. And, as promised, your comments are just going to appear and disappear again. Now, as promised, we've hit 2,500 subscribers, everybody, and I've been saying since 1,000, if we were to get to 3,000, that I'd show baby photos. And I have to confess, I thought we might get to 3,000 a little earlier than this, but I still know we're going to get there. As this is a kind of stepping stone along the way, I said yesterday, I can't let 2,500 subscribers pass without sharing a photo with you. Now, I'm not going to share a baby photo. That is 3,000 subscribers. I promised that's what that's going to have to be. But I was looking through the photo album. For those of you who are interested, all right, I'm not going to make a big deal of this, but this is a photograph of me, ladies and gentlemen, at the age of 3. And I think you'll see why I chose this for today's photo of the day. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. This is yours truly. And hang on a minute, if I just... You see? I'm sat on my dad's speaker, as you can see, in the living room, next to the tape deck and the telly and the huge record collection, all the tapes, and the picture behind, just over my shoulder there, is of my grandmother. And you can see, not a lot has changed. I can still rock a pair of braces. I think I'll have to show you that I can still do that. So there you are, everybody. I am a man of my word. We've reached 2,500 subscribers. Thank you, everybody, for subscribing. There's a picture of me at the age of 3. Now, if you want to see the photos, if you want to see the younger photos, let's get to 3,000, all right? Tell everybody about this channel and get them along. So, everybody, all the fun. Yeah, well, thank you, everyone. You love the slippers. Do you know what? That was the thing. I found that photo, and I had a really visceral memory of those slippers. You know what I mean? You look at the thing, I remember how comfortable those were, and I had a bit of a sort of a moment of, I missed those slippers. To be fair, they almost certainly would not fit No, almost about it. They certainly wouldn't fit. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon. Welcome to Quarantine Choir. Today, everybody, as I've said, we're going to be looking at a beautiful piece of medieval music, and immediately following today's broadcast, we'll be diving deeply into a little bit of an introduction to medieval music. Firstly, though, we'll sing the beautiful Never Weather Beaten Sail by Thomas Campion. I've enjoyed teaching this to you. I've enjoyed singing it on a number of occasions. It just seems to be a bit of an anthem for 2020. This feeling of, goodness me. Oh, it's effectively, it's the musical equivalent of, do you know what, I've had enough. I just want to sit down for a bit. And that's how I feel a lot these days, ladies and gentlemen. Just this need to just breathe out 2020, and we'll do that in a minute. Never Weather Beaten Sail is all about that. Then we'll sing Veni Veni Immanuel, this beautiful bit of medieval music. And then finally, Good King Wenceslas. Folks, we're going to start singing more traditional carols on the channel as we approach Christmas. And really, by the time Christmas comes around in the 2 weeks leading up, this is going to be, this is the place for Christmas music, right here on Quarantine Choir. Now, before we start today's session, let me just tell you about what we've got coming up this week. So, of course, Dindirin is tomorrow. Really gorgeous Spanish piece from the Renaissance. Really good fun, quite fast, some tricky words, but one of those nice pieces. Once you've learnt the first verse, you know the whole piece. Thursday, Go Tell It on the Mountain. Really upbeat, lively, spiritual gospel singing on Thursday. We're going to sing This Little Light of Mine, I'm Going to Let It Shine. It's going to be a really bright, lively, shiny kind of sing with lots of jazz hands. And then Friday, well, as I've said, everybody, we need to make sure that our claws are sharpened, make sure our collars are securely fastened, because we're going to sing the cat duet on Friday. Then on Sunday, the Sacred Sing. Well, we're going to sing Veni Immanuel, Never Weather Beaten Sail, Dindirin, all these pieces that we've sung this week on Sunday morning, and looking forward to it. And one more time, thank you to Breda for that lovely photograph, which is there on the card for Sacred Sing. So everybody, if I can invite you please to be upstanding, up we get, and we'll make a start. I'm just going to click there to the next slide. I think what we'll do is we'll go full screen. Can everybody help me with this, please? Everybody, here we go. Oh, hang on. No, we can't go full screen because I haven't pulled the curtain across. Oh, hang on. Oh, you can't see back there yet. Still working on that. Right, everybody, that was close. Full screen, everybody, and... Oh, that was fun. You all saw the cardboard boxes. Right, everybody. Planting those feet as shoulders width apart. Your shoulders back and your neck nice and long, please, everybody. Take a nice deep breath in and blow the air away from you. And again, please. And blow the air away. Thank you for all the lovely comments, everybody. One more time. Deep breath. And blow the air away. Thank you very much. Roll those shoulders around and then roll them back the other way. A very good afternoon to everybody who's just joined. Hello, Leslie. Leslie really likes the slippers. Thank you, Leslie. And shoulders up to your ears and let your shoulders fall. Thank you, everybody. I've just seen Kit Kat's comment about getting a recording. Hang on with that recording, KK. What we'll do is we'll make the recording, okay? We'll put that out on Friday, and then anyone who wants to submit a recording of the cat duet, let's make that. Let's do that as the next home choir submission. What do we think? You up for doing a bit of the cat duet? It might end up as a bit of a cat free-for-all. That could be fun, couldn't it? Well, let's have a chat about it on Friday, but don't send me anything before we've sung Friday, okay? Because then that's recorded and you can sing along with it. But I'd love to hear that. Anyway, everybody, let's do a little bit of humming. So let's start off by humming on this note. Here we go, and... Now, ooh. Ooh. And ah. Lovely, and ah. Ah. Thank you very much, everybody. Quick sip of drink, and I invite you to do the same. Please stay hydrated. Marvellous. I like the idea. Michael said Cat's Chorus. That's a good idea. Behind the curtain, he has a fridge where Lola Lee sleeps. Oh dear. Now, Lee is. I won't spoil the surprise. So, everybody, let's just do a couple of just quick broken chords before we sing Never Weather Beaten Sail. Here we go. So, after me, please. Ma, ma, ma. Your turn. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Your turn. Thank you. Me, me, me. And one more. Ya, ya, ya. Thank you very much indeed, everybody. Well, so let's have a look at our first piece today. We're going to go split screen. Let's make the sound. Thank you very much indeed. And we're going to start today with Never Weather Beaten Sail. This gorgeous piece by Thomas Campion. This comes from the 15th century. A very, very old song. The sentiment, though, hasn't really changed over all the centuries. That's the thing I love about the study of music. The fact that when you study all of these pieces, when you sing them, you really get a sense of the emotional, the emotional well-being, the emotional states of the people who wrote these pieces, and you hear all of the angst and all of the stress and so on in these people's lives. You think not a lot has changed in humanity in the last 500 years. We might think we're all advanced with all of our nice new modern technology and gizmos, but as I say, not a lot has changed. So here is Never Weather Beaten Sail. Here are your notes, everybody. Bass, tenor, alto, e soprano. Okay, going to do both verses. And remember, keep it lovely and smooth, everybody. All right, here we go. And...
Never weather beaten sail, nor willing bent to shore. Never tired pilgrims' limbs affected slumber more than my weary sprite now lost to fly out of my troubled breast. Oh, come quickly, sweetest Lord, and take my soul to rest. Ever blooming are the joys of heaven's high paradise. Cold age death's not there on ears, no vapor dims our eyes. Glory there the sun outshines, whose beams the blessed only see. Oh, come quickly, glorious Lord, and raise my sprite to thee.
Thank you, everybody. Very well sung at home. And that piece, it's just so beautiful. And the thing that I keep obsessing over is how these lines, these that work together. The people who wrote this music, they didn't think the way modern composers do in chords and chunks. They thought in lines, but those lines were designed to interweave and create chords sometimes. It's a very, very interesting time in history. And this sort of move from the Renaissance into the Baroque era, where people stopped thinking about lots of interweaving lines and started thinking about chords. There's a lot that changed in music at that point. Lovely stuff from Mr. Campion. Thank you, everybody, for singing along. Let's have a look at today's new piece. So this one is Veni Veni Immanuel. And, well, as I've been saying all throughout this week, this is a very, very old tune. All right, this dates from, I think, the 11th or 12th century. We don't know for certain. I mean, an awful lot of music from the medieval era is either completely anonymous, or so we obviously don't know who wrote it, but either we don't know where it came from either. Sometimes which country it came from, which city. It just, there's so little that survived from this time. So this particular piece has become very much associated with Christmas. We know it as O come, Emmanuel. Da, 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 da. Really, really nice tune. I've always campaigned on behalf of this tune. I've had a lot of colleagues and musicians over the years say, "Oh, I don't like it. It's such a dirge." And I think, yes, it can be a dirge. If you sing this piece, which goes like this, Veni, Veni, Immanuel. If you sing it slowly, Veni, Veni, Immanuel, then it is absolutely a dirge. But it's designed to be sung as, we'll say, plain chant, okay? So that each of these lines is supposed to be one breath. Okay, so if we were to sing this first line, and hopefully you've all got your scores. Now, I appreciate the score is not entirely what you would come to have expected from printed music. So what I've got for you up here on the screen is something perhaps a little bit more traditional. So those of you who've got those scores, you can see, well, it looks a little bit unusual. It's got all these little dots and so on. The top two lines there is what we would think of as the tune, and the bottom two lines at the bottom of the page is the alternative part. So all we're going to do is I'm going to take you through these lines one at a time, and we're just going to sing them to begin with, ladies and gentlemen, to bar. Okay, we're just going to sing ba 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 ba. I don't want you to worry about the words at all at this stage. I just want you to think about the tune, the melody. Okay. So if you want to follow along on screen, you can see the more traditional notation, or if you're happy to follow along on the score that I shared today, you can see these little neumes, which I'll be explaining in about 15 minutes or so. Okay, so the tune goes, to the top line, it goes, ba 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 ba. Can everyone sing that with me? And ba 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 ba. Very nice. We then sing ba 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 ba. Okay, hang on a second, everybody. Just let me make a change to my keyboards. It's cutting out there. Okay, so that line again. Where are we? Excuse me. There we are. So let's go from the beginning to bar, please, everybody. And ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Very nice. We then sing ba 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 with me, and ba 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 ba. Lovely. Then the next bit on the score, it's Privatus Dei. It goes ba 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 with me. Ba 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 ba. Splendid. Then we get to the chorus, which in English is rejoice, rejoice. In Latin, gaude, gaude. So we sing gaude, gaude. Sorry, my fault. Once more with me. 1, 2, 3. Gaude, gaude. Very good. Emmanuel. Sing that with me. Emmanuel. And then nascetur pro te Israel. With me. Nascetur pro te Israel. And we sang that in Latin because it's the same each time. So sing with me, Gaude, please, everybody. This is the chorus, the refrain. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Gaude, gaude, Emmanuel, nascetur pro te Israel. Fantastic. Now, everybody, the tune that we sang to bar, that is the main melody. That's the top line, and you will sing that, please, with the verses. Now, I've got to get them right. We're going to sing verse 1. We're then going to sing from our score that I've given you today. It's then going to be verse 4, verse 6, and then verse 3. I know that's a pain. Sorry, folks. It's 1, 4, 6, 3. If you're using the score that I shared in the description today, okay? Those of us who are singing along on screen, I'm going to have the words up here. So what you might prefer to do, everybody, is just to sing along, remember the tune, and then just sing along here with the words that I've got on screen. All right? Now, that's the top line. The lower line, this is where things will get a bit interesting. Those of you who know this as a Christmas carol, but maybe have never learnt this counterpart, which makes it very, very, very special indeed. Okay, so it moves in opposition, in contrary motion to the melody. Okay, so this first line, still to bar, it goes ba 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 ba. With me, 1, 2, 3. Ba 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 ba. Very nice indeed. Thank you, everybody. We then sing ba 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 ba. With me, ba 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 ba. Splendid. Just from the beginning, that lower part, please. It's the bottom line. It's at the bottom of the page in the free score, and it's the bottom line here on the screen. Ready? After 3. 1, 2, 3. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Very nice. Very nice. We now sing ba 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 ba, which sounds a bit like it should be the melody, okay? Because at this point the lower part jumps above the top part. Sing for me after 3. 1, 2, 3. Ba 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 ba. Very nice. We then sing ba 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 ba. With me, ba 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 ba. Excellent. Well done. From the beginning, please, this lower part. Okay, after 3. 1, 2, 3. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Thank you, folks. Well done. Now we get to the chorus, and it's Gaude, Gaude. Okay, so the first Gaude goes Gaude, and then the second is Gaude. So the first one is the lower note, and the second is staying on the note. So sing those with me, please. Gaude. 1, 2, 3. Gaude, Gaude. Thank you. Don't forget Gaude, rejoice. Nice, loud and cheery at that point. And then Immanuel nascetur prote Israel. Listen to that again. Immanuel. 1, 2, 3. Immanuel nascetur prote Israel. Okay, so that is that lower part. Now what I want to do is to go to sing the whole thing with the recording that I've got, which was made with, well, me in this room of mine. It will sound a little bit like a cathedral, hopefully. Now it's entirely up to you which part you sing. I would suggest if this is a totally new piece, just stick to that main tune, that first tune that I taught you. It's quite a familiar tune, and it's a nice one to sing. However, if you know that one already, have a go at that lower part. Okay, it's so beautiful, and you'll really get a sense. You could even sing one then the other in different verses. You'll really get a sense of how the two voices are equal and balanced and working together, and that's kind of at the core of this style. So your notes, everybody. So there's the E. Those of you singing Veni Veni, there's your note. Those of you singing Veni Veni, there's your note. Okay? So the upper part there, lower part there. Here we go, everybody. Let's sing together. Remember, it's verses. Oh, hang on. Sorry, it's these verses. Okay? So with these words on screen. Ready, folks? Here we go. And Veni Veni Immanuel.
captivum salve Israel, qui gemit in exilio, privatus Dei filio, Gaude, Gaude, Emmanuel, nascetur prote Israel. Veni ogesse vigula, ex hostis tuos ungula, despecut tuos matani, deducet antromathri, Gaude, Gaude, Emmanuel, nascetur prote Israel. Veni, veni, oroliens, solare nos adveniens, noctis debere nebulas, dirasque noctis tenebras, Gaude, Gaude, Emmanuel, nascetur prote Israel. Veni, veni, Adonai, qui populo in Sinai, legem legis divetice, in majestate gloriae, Gaude, Gaude, Emmanuel, nascetur prote Israel.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming to the service today at Patro Cathedral. I hope you enjoyed that. I've always been fascinated with that particular version of that piece. I've heard so many, as I say, dreary dirge-like renditions that are really heavy and ponderous, and the congregation just doesn't want to be there. You can hear it, oh come. Whereas this version, it has so much shape and so much beauty to it. I'm not talking about the performance so much as just the way those lines interweave. Well, if you're interested in that style of music at all and you want to learn, well, as you can see here, what these little diamonds and squares mean in 5 minutes, join me for the deep dive. But first, folks, we've got one more piece to sing today, and this is a real favourite. Particularly those of us who celebrate Christmas in the UK. I always programme this with one of my choirs. It's an opera in Christmas carol form, and those of you that have sung with me, those of you in my good afternoon choirs, so Chris and Val and Pat and Rona, you all know my little spiel for this. Okay, this is my little jokey spiel, but the thing is, in all seriousness, this is an opera. It's got a chorus at the start, Good King Wenceslas, looked out on the feast of Stephen, and so on. And that's so when you sing this one at home, everybody, I want you, please, to sing it like the Greek chorus. All right, get your hands up like this, and it's Good King Wenceslas looked out on the feast of Stephen, sort of proclaiming, okay? Then you have, in the second verse, we've got the tenors and basses, and they're going to sing. What I'll do, actually, just to make things a little bit easier, hopefully, I'm going to put the King's words in bold, okay? And we also have the page. Now, the page, he's a nice lad. He's a real sweet, sweet boy. You know, he's going to be, 9, 10 years old? He's not very bright, though, because he goes out into the cold without a coat. All right, so he starts shivering. When we get to this bit, Sigh, the night is darker now. Everybody needs to sing it, particularly ladies, if you're singing this one. You need to shiver. Okay, and then tenors and basses, we come in. Mark my footsteps, good my page. That's wrong. It's not my good page, it's good my page. As I keep saying, folks, this is how you can tell it's live. Okay, so we're going to sing this all the way through. If you want to sing the part of the king, it's the part in bold. If you want to sing the part of the page, that's the part underlined. Everything else is chorus. And enjoy, everybody. Here is Good King Wenceslas. Okay, Greek chorus first. Here we go. Good King Wenceslas looked out on the feast of Stephen, when the snow lay round about, deep and crisp and even. Brightly shone the moon that night, though the frost was cruel, when a poor man came in sight, gathering winter fuel. Hear the page and stand by me, if thou know'st it telling, yonder peasant, who is he, where and what his dwelling? Sigh, he lives a goodly Kent, underneath a mountain, right against the forest fence, by St. Agnes' fountain. Bring me flesh and bring me wine, bring me pine logs hither, thou and I will see him dine, when we bear them thither. Everybody! And monarch, forth they went together, through the rude wind's wild lament, and the bitter weather. So the night is darker now, and the wind blows stronger. Fails my heart, I know not how, I can go no longer. Mark my footsteps, good my page, tread thou in them boldly. Thou shalt find the winter's rage freeze thy bloodless coldly. Everybody. In his master's steps he trod, where the snow lay dinted. Heat was in the very sod which the saint had printed. Therefore, Christian men, be sure, wealth or rank possessing, ye who now will bless the poor, shall yourselves find blessing. Oh, thanks everybody. Excuse me. Swallowed a cough halfway through. I think it was all of the changing of voices. It's going from the page. He talks a bit like this to Moira's absolutely nailed it. Turned it by blessed. Wenceslas is alive. Well, everybody, this was supposed to be the day of the week that we treat music in a serious and classical fashion, and I'm afraid it's turned into bedlam as always. So apologies for that, but I hope you've enjoyed it nonetheless. Now I'm going to click off and reappear on the deep dive broadcasts for those of you who want to stick around on the half an hour and find out a bit more about medieval music. But otherwise, join me tomorrow for Din Dirin, which is great fun and another lively, bouncy piece. So everybody, thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in about 30 seconds on the deep dive, but have a great day and do take care, folks. Lots of love. Bye bye.